Ladies and gentlemen, fellow warriors living with ALS, and the incredible caregivers who stand by our sides every day, thank you for being here. My name is Brad Smith, and I'm honored to speak with you today. You might know me as the third person in the world to receive a Neuralink brain implant, the first with ALS, and the first who's nonverbal. I am also known as ALS Cyborg on X. I type this speech using just my thoughts, straight from my brain to the computer. Isn't that wild? If you're like me, you've probably dreamed of a day when technology could give us back some of what ALS has taken. Well, I'm here to tell you that day is here, and it's getting brighter. Let me start by sharing a bit about my journey because I know many of you are walking a similar path. 7 years ago, ALS hit me like a bad driver in a Phoenix parking lot. It stole my ability to move, speak, and even type without exhausting effort. I relied on eye gaze technology, which was a lifeline but trapped me in dark rooms, away from the sun, and made communication feel like texting on a flip phone from 2002. Thoughts piled up in my head, dad jokes, ideas, words for my wife Tiffany and our kids Lincoln, Edison, and Abigail, but getting them out was painfully slow. I felt stuck, like driving a car with a steering wheel made of jello. Then Neuralink entered the picture. I'd been following Elon Musk's companies for years, but after my diagnosis, Neuralink became my beacon of hope. When the patient registry opened, I jumped on it, lobbying shamelessly through their portal. In November 2024, at Barrow Neurological Institute in Phoenix, I became patient 3. The surgery was a breeze for me. I napped while the geniuses did their work. They implanted a device the size of a stack of quarters in my skull, with 64 threads and 1,024 electrodes in my motor cortex, listening to my brain signals. There were no real problems or pain from the surgery itself. It was straightforward. And the team at Barrow Neurological Institute is amazing. I had no fear of the surgery. Recovery had its rough moments, but not for any medical issues, synthetic narcotics, and I had a fling I don't recommend, knocking me out for a couple of days. I spent just 24 hours in the hospital for observation, and by day 3, I felt normal again. Staples came out after a week, and I was cleared to start training shortly after. No lingering pain, no complications, just excitement to get started. From what I've heard from other patients, this is typical. A short, manageable, painless recovery that gets you back to life faster than you'd expect. If you're considering the trial, let's talk about the requirements. Based on the PRIME study and current eligibility as of 2025, you need to be at least 22 years old. Some sites cap it at 75 and have quadriplegia or limited or no use of both hands due to cervical spinal cord injury or ALS. You need significant communication challenges, are comfortable with technology, and have a reliable caregiver. The patient registry is open worldwide, but surgeries are currently in specific locations like Phoenix, Miami, Abu Dhabi, and Toronto. It is a feasibility study, so they're looking for folks who can commit to regular sessions to help refine the tech. If that sounds like you, it's worth applying. Neuralink assesses preliminary eligibility through the registry. Now let's talk about what Neuralink actually is, because understanding it is key to seeing its potential for all of us. Neuralink is a brain-computer interface, a tiny implant that reads your brain's electrical signals and translates them into actions on a device, like moving a cursor or clicking. Imagine your brain as a stadium full of cheering fans, your neurons firing, and the implant as a super-sensitive microphone picking up those cheers. It processes about 16,384 variables 66 times a second. That's a fire hose of data. The implant filters it, sends the key spikes via Bluetooth to a computer, like a MacBook Pro, and AI models decode your intent into movement. To bring this to life, let me show you. As you can see, my Neuralink implant is a coin-sized device with 64 ultra-thin threads radiating outward, each thread dotted with electrodes totaling 1,024. More recent pioneers have received 128 threads, and I am just a bit jealous. The demo animates these threads inserting into the brain tissue by a hyper-accurate robot. I have seen a picture of my brain with the threads in it, and it looks completely clean with no bleeding. The robot is so accurate that it can see the blood vessels in the brain and avoid them. This visual shows real-time neural activity as lines of white bars spiking, like a dynamic equalizer, lighting up in patterns when I think about moving my hand. I can't see the patterns, but the computer can through machine learning and artificial intelligence. Those spikes get mapped to a cursor on screen. Early on, my cursor was a drunk mouse, stumbling around, but with training, those signals sharpened, and now it's smooth as riding a bike. It's not magic, it's science decoding the brain's weird, wonderful ways. For us with ALS, where motor neurons fade but the brain's intent remains, this bridges the gap beautifully. Let me demonstrate how it works. I'll walk you through it because once you see it in action, you'll get why I'm so excited. First, the basics. Neuralink does not read my thoughts or deepest secrets. To be honest with you, I don't have a lot of secrets. The implant only reads my intentions to move my body, and it translates those into commands for my computer. To move the cursor, I just think about moving my left hand, the area where the implant sits. No physical movement needed, it's pure intention. Watch this. In my mind, I'm imagining pushing my hand forward and the cursor glides up. Left thought? It slides left. It started clunky. In my first session, I hit maybe 3 targets a minute, but by mid-November 2024, it clicked. I wasn't forcing wrist movements anymore. I was just thinking the cursor across the screen. The Neuralink team cheered like I'd won the Super Bowl. Next, clicking. We tried hand signals, wrist flicks, even tongue movements, but the golden ticket was jaw clenches. I imagined clenching my jaw and boom, click. I can hover over a link without accidentally opening it, something I hadn't done in years. And no click? Just relax and think don't click. It's like patting your head and rubbing your belly at first. Tricky coordination with your mind, but practice makes it fluid. We use colored targets, blue for left click, jaw clench, yellow for no click. The AI learns from that, getting smarter each time. One of my favorite features is the AI chat app, something I pitched to Neuralink a year ago, and they built it. It listens to conversations around you, uses AI like Grok to suggest responses, and speaks them in your cloned voice. Testing it with my parents was hilarious. They called it HAL 9000, and it sassed back. Now it's got my personality. Witty, a bit sassy, and getting faster. Imagine keeping up with family banter in real time, suggesting a dad joke or a quick I love you. It's not perfect. Sometimes it offers weird stuff, but it's a game changer for social connection. And gaming? Oh man, they brought a Nintendo Switch to my house. I steer with my brain. Left and right, thoughts control the cart. I beat my son Lincoln once. Edison let me win. Abigail claims she's undefeated. But playing Mario Kart with my kids? ALS took that away. Neuralink gave it back. I've even broken the pre-Neuralink world record on WebGrid with 100% accuracy. Not bad for a guy who can't move. We've tackled challenges too, like Bluetooth interference from Wi-Fi. They fixed it, making future implants better. And travel? Before it was impossible. Now, I've been to Utah twice. Fremont for Neuralink HQ, all in a shuttle bus because I'm high maintenance. Texting from the porch in the Arizona sun, editing videos on my MacBook, presenting to church groups. All possible now. Speaking of moonshots, let's outline Neuralink's speech restoration study. This one's huge for us nonverbal folks. The implant goes in the speech motor cortex, not the hand area like mine. It captures your intended mouth movements as you imagine speaking words or phrases. You don't just think of the words. You visualize shaping them with your lips, tongue, jaw, like remembering how to say hello without sound. They use phoneme-rich sentences like the birch canoe slid on the smooth planks to cover English sounds. The AI decodes those signals into text or speech. It's experimental. I have tested the process, reading weird phrases to train the model, but my implant is in the wrong area for speech control. But I have already volunteered to get another implant in the right spot. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Neuralink has to work with the FDA to get permission to do that, so I won't hold my breath. I can't hold my breath anymore anyway. Imagine speaking again, even if it's through a computer voice that sounds like you. Neuralink is opening this to more patients. If you're comfortable with tech and have a good caregiver, this could restore your ability to communicate. Look, I know ALS sucks. It's slow, incessant, and unfair. But Neuralink has given me hope, freedom, and joy I thought were gone. I'm happier, despite ALS, closer to Tiffany, literally and figuratively, and a dad who plays games again. As I shared on X, you can follow me at ALS Cyborg. I was able to watch fireworks on the 4th of July with my family in Utah. ALS had stolen that family moment. Neuralink gave it back. My outlook is brighter. I've gone from a drunk mouse to typing faster than eye gaze with fewer mistakes. It's empowered me to text outside, control devices, and dream big, like driving my wheelchair or editing videos with drag and drop. If you're living with ALS, I encourage you, sign up for Neuralink trials at Neuralink.com. They're doing surgeries in Phoenix, Miami, Abu Dhabi, and Toronto, Canada. Options for computer control or speech restoration. People outside the US can apply for Abu Dhabi or Toronto easier. Share this with everyone. Let's get more of us in. It's not just tech. It's a front row seat to history, changing lives for thousands. As patient 3, I'm a lab rat, and it's worth it. In closing, remember, we're in this together. God put me here to serve, and Neuralink's making that possible. I am so grateful for my family and friends and my faith through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Stay positive, keep fighting one jaw clench at a time. Thank you, and let's change the world. May God bless each of you and your families today and always. Tiffany and I are happy to answer your questions, and Romina Najat is here from Neuralink to keep us honest and represent the amazing people at Neuralink. She can answer your questions too.